It's over. Hey everyone, we'll get ready in just a couple minutes. Dev, why don't you say a few words so they can hear you?
I hate retail so much, but also it pays for things, so.
I don't miss retail, is what I will say to that. Anytime I see someone who works at a movie theater commenting, I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't miss doing that anymore.
Customers today were just absolutely unhinged.
Okay.
Our jumbo balloons were not jumbo enough.
I'm trying to imagine them actually complaining about balloon size. Okay,
They
right.
did.
Ready to go, Dev?
They did, unfortunately.
Welcome to the WtW podcast. We're here to entertain, inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, I run with the Will and produce Digimon on Blu-ray.
From DevQ and I have a computer now.
Yes, the Dev Pewter lives. And Dev
It
got
lives!
and Dev gets to learn why I kept mentioning the phase change pad rather than using paste.
Yes, I'm not looking forward to having to clean out the old one
Yeah.
because that's going to be mummified.
No, I know, but it's so easy to deal with the phase change pads.
Just snip it and just slap it on.
Yep. Although you had the same issue I did, you said, where
Yeah,
trying to get the top plastic off and keeps trying to peel off the sheet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It did
And
not want to stay on the chip.
yeah, I had that same issue, but yeah. On the plus side, it will not dry out and you won't have that issue in 4 or 5 years.
Good, because I don't want to have to do that again anytime soon.
Yeah. And then have you decided how you're going to decorate your case yet?
Game story.
Ah, that was the last suggestion you had brought up.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
I
We
will
have.
make it pretty.
It's weird. It's the actual amount of stuff for the last 2 weeks is actually low, but the stuff that there is big.
Yeah,
Yes.
so much of the things.
First up, new Liberator. First up is the new web novel chapter, which is Debug 13 Freedom, and they mark it as part one, but not part one of chapter 13, just part one of this specific story. I When was the last time we got much with Winter?
Um, I feel like the second chapter of the web novel in general.
You mean his actual introduction?
Yes.
I think you're right, but the beginning part was weird. Where it's like I was with my mother, and then I was with my father. It was like almost like they took bits from memoirs.
Yeah, it's like, are you some sort of like poor little orphan child from Great Britain in the 1700s?
And then Queen Beemon shows off helping people, and the other Digimon mentions how often they're talking about Winter. And then it was funny. They mention the Digimon in Cross Connect. You mentioned seeing people with D-Storage wandering, causing problems. Like, oh, they're gonna do evil kids, and no, it's just the NPCs being dicks. And then that transitions into the actual webcomic where NPCs being dicks. Although I love a Yao-based chapter because she's fun.
She's an absolute fucking gremlin.
She is, but I still like though. they have the Atmon pop out. She has no familiarity with them, which is a good way to tell us that basically no one will, because she would know. Then when they introduced the NPC as the Smiley Navigator, it made me go, "Oh, we're gonna see a tamer card for this guy." Like that, like definitely. Um, and then I love when Liberator finds way to put in little cute art at times, and it's Yao thinking about her and Globon being friends. And it's like SD
That was
Globon.
adorable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Globemon's kind of SD already.
Yeah, but like that was like plushy SD. And then a word joke that does not work. Charismon and Kalismon. That is a joke that does not play outside of Japanese. They turned it into a
No.
mishearing gag. That's about as good as it's going to get, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then
I
Yao.
mean, they could have put like a little author's note in
Yeah,
there.
I thought the same, but I wonder if since they rewrite it as a mishearing gag to then add a note going in the original Japanese, it's because the names sound basically the same, is too much when you've rewritten the joke a bit. And then
Yeah.
and then here's how you know Yao is a true card game player. She's excited and frustrated by new card game features.
It's like, no, I have to study this. Crap, I'm busy doing puzzles.
And then we get Gaomon showing up at the end. You'd think that would be where the chapter ended, but we get a nice little, not quite a coda, but Mirai and Kaguyamon somewhere about to head off and show up. It really is interesting how much the comic and novel intersplice now.
I wonder if the next one is going to have Mirai just kind of like popping into Yao's battle specifically.
They're always a bit iffy on how much they will allow that sort of thing. So we will see. Although, does it feel like she should be flying in, standing on Kaguyamon's shoulder?
Absolutely. It would be epic and
If
badass.
we're an actual action thing, I would expect that. With a card game, maybe not. But yeah, Liberator stuff good. And then, man, they really went nuts with giving us Time Stranger stuff.
So many
Yeah,
stupid versions.
so first up, October 3rd. It's out this year. It's out in basically 3.5 months at this point. Then version. So standard, which is the game. Deluxe is the game, the season pack, which we'll come back to in a moment, and Cyber Sleuth costumes. Ultimate is game, uh, Cyber Sleuth costumes, season pack. Early unlocks for Kizuna versions of Agumon and Gabumon. Costume packs, more costumes, and a Cyber Sleuth BGM pack. Pre-orders of all of them include a certain school uniform for the characters, Agumon Black, Gabumon Black, and adventure item set. Now let's go back to that season set. 3 packs, each have 5 Digimon, and it's currently debated what that actually means because a few places write it differently. For now, we're saying 5 Digimon. It may very well be 5 Digimon who have dedicated evolution paths. We will see. Although a lot of people are like, "Ooh, I'd like that to be Gamamon." I wouldn't, because you 5 Digimon doesn't feel like Gamamon would benefit well from that type of pack. I just want
Hard to
him.
say.
I just want him in the game. Plus in-game story episodes and a golden moai for the farm in the game. And then that's when they started going overboard. So those are the digital versions. For physical, standard, which is the game plus the pre-order DLC. Ultimate, which is the same as the digital retail Ultimate, but you also get a card. And collectors, which we'll go into more detail in a moment. Um, so much of these, I think I had to do multiple articles just to like clarify what all these were as I was able to get more and more information.
There's just so much, it's kind of a little convoluted.
It is. So the game is $70. The ultimate, that's where it has all the story DLC, is 120. So it feels like the season pack is going to be 50-ish, which is a bit much, but we will see what ends up happening with that.
Like, what does this actually
Yeah,
include?
then okay, the collector's edition. That is $200. It includes physical version of the game for PS5 and Xbox, a slip with game code for Steam. Oh, one thing that's come up, a number of people kept being confused why they keep mentioning only Xbox Series X for the collector's edition, because it comes with the game on disc and Series S does not have a disc drive. So even though the game's on both versions, if you're getting the physical, it has to be for X. That's why some places are mentioning X and S, and others are just mentioning X. Uh, if you get collector's edition with Steam, slip with a game code. It has everything from the Ultimate Edition. You get the Aegiomon card plus Lunamon, Coronamon, and Grace Novamon. 100-page art book, which feels like the thing people have been most excited about from this, honestly.
That's all I fucking care about.
Yeah, and then the Jupitermon Wrath Mode figure, which it's been mentioned elsewhere, the figure's actually from Mega House, so theoretically it's in the
Oh.
same. So yeah, although when you look at the figure, does it look a little cheap?
Uh,
Like look at his head where it connects to the body.
zoom, zoom, zoom.
That feels like more separation than we tend to see from gem figures.
I wonder if it's where like it's partially disassembled and you have to pop it together yourself, like the Shoto figures.
That's true. I don't know. 15 centimeters feels like it's a bit too big scale to do that, or to make that good. I mean, because 15 centimeters is 6 inches, so it's a small gem figure in scale wise. I mean, and there's also a few more costumes, public safety suit, and then to get more confusing, there are more editions in Japan. I did not go over all the formations because the Japanese version gets confusing. The collector's edition in Japan are exclusive to 3 stores: Asobi, Premium Bandai, and Rakuten Ichiba. They have different formations that includes the same stuff as the US sets, but some of them are like, you get this, but you don't get the figure. But some bonus items based on which level you get, which are available at all 3 places, are flash drive with music, with the game music, which if it's the full soundtrack, I really wish we had gotten that option because I like that. An acrylic diorama of the key art, a steelbook case, and an art mirror that will be serial numbered. And I always forget the name of that painting. The one where you have someone reaching for God.
Oh, creation of
Cr-
Adam or something like that.
yes, where a version of that, but with the Time Stranger characters.
That's hilarious.
So and then I was able to confirm this with Bandai when I put up the pre-order stuff. Xbox and Steam pre-orders will exist digitally, but will open later. Digital pre-orders, a few places kind of have them, but not quite. In different, like if you go to Xbox or Steam, you can't. A few shops are already selling. Oh well, you'll get the key closer to launch, so go ahead. Um, and one of the physical versions is deluxe, which includes the game, the pre-order DLC, the Cyber Sleuth, and the season pass. So, oh, it's not 50, so it'd be 30. It's that you get all the other stuff by getting the ultimate version. There's so many versions, it is actually hard to keep track.
I just want the game in the art book.
Um, when they announced the date, got a new trailer that showed off stuff honestly quite nicely. We also got a Japanese commercial that had some new footage. The new key art, which just looks really good. Let's see. Da, 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 da. We got Japanese cast. some very suggestive actors in there. If you look at the way they list the cast, they kind of list them in rows. Except one person who's off on their own. Did you see who that person is? Miyuki Sawashiro.
Sawashiro?
Do you know why that's relevant, Dev?
Gamamon!
No, it is Gamamon, but that's not why it'd be relevant that you'd list her off away from everyone. Is she's Mirai in prior games?
Oh shit, I keep forgetting.
So listing her in the cast list with no character and also putting her name away from everyone else's is very suggestive, I would say. And then
It would be really funny if there was a cutscene of Gamamon and Mirai talking to each other.
they should. And then
God, I hope so.
then the part that personally disappointed me the most and upset people and some people were just upset that anyone was disappointed about it, which is the specs. They have not listed PC minimum or recommended yet. The actual specs for consoles are very strange. Even the way they list it is strange. Like um, PS5 and PS5 Pro and Xbox Series X are all 4K. Xbox Series S is 1440p, and those are all listed as 30 FPS, which we'll get into in a minute. Steam, they list 1080p as their baseline for like what they're coming up with stuff for. Minimum 720p. Max is 3840 by 2400. That is 4K, but with a vertical extension for a 16 by 10 screen, which isn't as common as they used to be, especially at that resolution, which bit odd, but okay. They
Maybe
also
they're more popular in Japan?
maybe I
I
that's
would not.
yeah I don't know. I would think that just because it isn't forced camera like the old games, I would think it would make more sense to do ultra wide with how many people get those for gaming now. Um, and people in the chat are going, "Oh yeah, I definitely hear Richard Epcar in the English version of the trailer." We're There's definitely some familiar voices. We're just kind of waiting until we get an official cast list to detail stuff. Um, the lack of HDR support disappoints because the game looks so colorful, and HDR would really make that pop. And then for the frame, so here's the thing: frame rate does not kill a game. It's disappointing based on how the game looks. So far from what we know of the graphics and the underlying gameplay systems, there isn't anything very crazy being done. So it being 30 is kind of like bare minimum rather than being nice. And it's not like the engine's locked
Cyber
to.
Sleuth going to 60.
I believe Cyber would go to 60 on everything except Vita. I believe on Switch in some areas it went wonky, but I believe the time when I was testing the game, I never hit any of those places. So to me, it looked nearly locked to 60. Nearly. But yes, Cyber Sleuth did. And these graphics just aren't that wild compared to Cyber Sleuth. If there was some underlying gameplay thing that would explain it, it'd be. It just ends up being disappointing to me personally. And here's why it is. Like if you said, okay, it's only 30, it's exactly the same on the PS5 and PS5 Pro. Like the graphical specs are identical between those, which is strange. So yeah, that's definitely
Hmm.
disappointing. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing what the PC version will be able to do, both before and after mods. So we will see.
Make it fancy.
Yeah, and then Terramon Assistant went over it. He basically went over the physical items that come with various editions.
Very lovely.
They do. I want that sound. They don't actually say it's a soundtrack. It may just be selected music, but I'm always up for game soundtrack. And
Thing is,
that
like, I'm wondering if it's just like the music files or if in the game you're allowed to have like just go to like kind of like your jukebox and have different
A lot.
music playing than what would default on it.
We won't know for the game. This, I would assume, is just a selection of music from the game to listen to. Like, I would consider this a bonus, not bonus music for the game. They actually did that for the Hacker's Memory Special Edition, where you would actually get a different version of the game and you could swap in various anime songs for the standard music. And then we got a bunch of previews for Time Stranger. So, Titamon,
That
uh, Agumon Bond of Bravery, Gabumon Bond of Friendship. I like how anytime Bond of Bravery comes up, multiple people point out that it really should be Bond of Courage, and yes, yes, it should.
yes, yes, it fucking should. It
Yeah,
pisses me off so much.
that's one. Yeah, that one's annoying. Um, I will say though, the and even in chat, even like Stark's like, yeah, 30 isn't bad, but it's not great, especially for turn-based RPG. It can be nice just to have the smoothness. Anytime you deal with FPS, you get a lot of people giving their opinion who don't know. My personal favorite, and it doesn't pop up as much as it used to, the person going, the human eye can't tell the difference between 30 and 60 FPS. Yes, yes, you can. Dev got 165 hertz monitor for her computer, and believe me, once it's fully set up, I'm going to make sure she's taking advantage of the 165 hertz.
Gonna blow my fucking retinas right out.
That would be
Gonna be
HDR.
glorious.
The main thing when you jump up the frame rate is you're going to turn on and then you're going to realize the mouse looks different is going to be the primary thing that will happen for a few minutes, where you'll move the mouse and you're like, that's not the way the mouse normally moves.
Like, no, I don't like this. This is uncanny. No, make it stop.
That tends to happen for a very short period of time where it actually will feel not quite right. Then we also got to look at Agumon Black, Black War Greymon, Gabumon Black, and Melgrumon Black.
I want the puppy.
Those poor Digimon. A lot of people don't get why they keep showing up as pre-order things. It's because you don't want the pre-order bonus to be Agumon and Gabumon because they have to be front and center in the game, and that's the best you can do. And then even like the Ultimate Edition one giving you the keys and versions, it doesn't give you them. It gives you them early.
Early
They're
access.
in the game. It's just if you buy the Ultimate Edition, you get early, which is very valuable because it means they've done this twice for the same game.
I want the
Kodai,
hot topic puppy.
yeah, Kodai Kurumi and Shota Kuroi. I already don't like
It's
Kodai
just the turf
Kurumi.
from
Do you know
Final
why?
Fantasy.
At this point, do you know how many actual theories there are about this guy? I'm already tired of him. He has a beard
He's
and
just generic guy McDude.
no, like okay, if you look at the character art, he vaguely looks like Gankumon. And he has the last name of Kyoko from Cyber Sleuth. And it's like it's already too much. You know what it is? It's that it feels less like things to actually theorize, and it more feels like a
Beating in
nonsense
the face.
a nonsense mystery box that's just there to have people go, "Ooh, is it?" Rather than it being like an actual potential cool thing to discover. And it's also possible it's just completely coincidence that he vaguely looks like Gankumon.
It'd be
Uh,
funny if his partner Digimon is Gankumon.
yeah, I would like it if it showed up immediately and there's just no way to even make it work. Then Monica Simmons and Asuna Shiroki said that wrong. And people are like, Simmons kind of looks like Kyoko. That could be her mom. It's like, I don't know if this person looks old enough to have an adult daughter 8 years later, even if you assume this is 8 years sooner.
I mean, she could be like fucking Lusamine from Sun and Moon.
Eh, you're not wrong, but that doesn't help. Then Bacchusmon and Sirenmon. Does Sirenmon look weirdly like Goofy in this image for some reason? Something feels off.
I think it.
Like, is it like the shading feels
It's the
off?
it's the shading from the mask where it looks very 3D model-ish, if
I
that
think
makes
I think
sense.
it is a 3D model.
Well, if you zoom all the way in,
You think it's just art?
oh,
I was gonna say it was a 3D model that was like cell shaded to look like art. You think it's just art?
it's hard to say, but it just
In
the
ch- in, ch-
black
in
lines
chat
on it is just coming off a little weird.
in chat they're saying it. They think it's because we can see her mouth so clearly. When normally it's more like a short character from above. I don't know. And
This
then
looks like a little uncanny.
and then Coronamon and Lunamon.
Bunny supremacy.
I will say this: in the whether it's an art or render, is Coronamon's head weirdly large there?
Yes, absolutely.
I like
His head is
Coronamon.
very
His
tall,
his head is like bigger than his body.
and his eyes are like below the like in the bottom third
And
of
then
his head.
Junomon, which I don't think we had. I may be wrong. I don't think we had seen Junomon up till now, and people thought like the reveal of Junomon was gonna be like a late game reveal. It's like, nope, there's Junomon.
I could have sworn we had like a close up of her face like a lot earlier.
Well, I meant like that she'd be story important, is what I mean.
Oh,
I don't remember if she showed up in a trailer or not prior to this. I just meant that like a story thing. If they're giving us the profile, she will matter, is what I mean.
would.
And then, so yeah, we're 3.5 months away, getting lots of stuff, and it is shocking how much stuff they just like started throwing at us. So Dev,
Like how like
which version are you getting? Although I guess you have to get Steam, don't you? You don't have the consoles.
correct, because like I refuse to have anything Xbox related in my
Okay,
house because
so you have three choices: standard, ultimate, or collectors. Although collectors is mostly sold out, and they're now doing waiting lists.
I want that art book. I don't give a shit about anything else.
Yeah, I don't really care. The problem with the figure is like I have plenty of figures, and they're not all on display for stuff that I actually like want.
Okay, think it's like if it was like Aegeomon, sure, the figure would be great because like
No,
oh
see,
he's a little dude.
I'm glad they're not doing an Aegeomon figure. Do you know why? When and if we get an Aegeomon figure one day, I want one with him at the center and like the different evolutions all around him.
That would take up so much space.
They could be little figures though. But yeah, Aegeomon has such a interesting evolution path. I want that to be part of the figure. You know what I mean?
Could have
And
like an acrylic stand behind it with the silhouettes of them on it. That would be
yeah,
more
but
reasonable.
see, but they just do that, and then he would also be an acrylic stand. And then they have time to take a sip of drink before card apocalypse.
But no more cards.
Oh no, they went fucking nuts. I It took me like an hour and a half or 2 hours or something to put together an article. Okay, ready, Dev?
Unfortunately.
Dracomon box topper. I
I
love,
fucking love it. It's so cute.
and that's actually a profile thing that they mentioned that he likes gems and shiny things and eats things he likes. Then we get
God, isn't that a fucking mood?
a panorama card of Crescarumon Ace, Omegamon Ultra S, and Blitzgreymon Ace. That's not only cool, it is a follow up to a panorama they did for Omegamon, where they did it like the same style but from like a different camera angle.
I love when they do the joining cards.
Yeah. This one I feel is a little asterisk too because they don't really join. Do you get what I mean? Because
Feels like it.
they have that digital effect in between the cards where they do, but also this is three completely separate pieces of art that just have a few bits that it's not like one big piece of art, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you
There's a
remove,
little more separation.
yeah, that's what I mean. Then Hackmon Box Topper. I actually really like this one. It's like that weird thing where they will give Hackmon randomly give Hackmon hero poses
He's so dramatic with his cape billowing in the wind,
on
looking
a
towards the
British
sun.
phone box for some reason. Then we get Kuwagamon, who is doing a very Kuwagamon pose. Like, here's the thing. This is
Yeah,
fine art. I just don't have much thought on it because it feels like we've seen Kuwagamon do this 100 times. Then
yeah,
Zubamon looks great, honestly.
very dramatic.
God, how Zubamon's like what 6? He's been around for like 6 years at this point. 7, about 7, I think.
20th.
Yeah, that's why it's like I'm like it feels like he's been around longer, doesn't it?
It's just because the design is just like so kind of like classic.
Yeah. And then we get Kabuterimon flying forward. I like the speed blurring effect on this one.
It's also a very Kabuterimon pose.
And then this is one that disappointed people, but I liked is the Chimeramon card. Like I think Koki did a great job on this one, but some people I saw a number of people were like it's one of the few secret rares. It feels almost like a normal card, but it should be like fancy. You can see him dashing forward, wondering
I
when
like
his
looking at all like the texture and
no,
details.
like it's done really well in this one. Because ironically, have we not seen a lot of Koki pudding cards lately?
Yeah, you're right. He's been doing like more like intense
I mean,
textures and
that's the thing. He's always done both, but anytime he does whatever the one text you want to call, we call it pudding. I don't think we really like those cards, even when they're really good, because the look is just off-putting. This one I really like.
it really, really depends on the individual Digimon because
Yeah,
some it matches really well. The other one it just looks like you just put this through an old Photoshop filter and turned it into a blob.
yeah. Then we get a Ludomon box topper, which a number of these box toppers feel like they're iconic isn't the first word, but generally iconic to the Digimon. Like, doesn't this feel like a Ludomon image you've seen before?
It does.
Then we get anime style art of Taichi Yamato with Blitz and Crest. What's interesting is this is new art, but it feels like something I've seen in a show somewhere.
It looks like a screen cap.
Yeah, now this is definitely new art. Like, we definitely never saw Blitz or Crest looking like that in the show. But yeah, I like it. Battlemon Core. I like this. I think the style's good. I understand when people say they don't because it doesn't necessarily look more dynamic compared to the original card. And this is the parallel one.
I like cool and creepy,
Yeah.
which is what you want.
See, to me, you know what it feels like? Um, did you ever get Beast Wars figures? I'll take that as a no. When you would get a figure like from Beast Wars or from a few different Transformer series, at the bottom right where the window is, they would have like exclusive art of them that would then be like have cut away part of the plastic behind. This feels like that for Obatamon, where it's just kind of
Yeah, all
in
the
the background.
figures I got were like already out of the
Yeah,
packaging.
yeah. This is. It reminds me of that. It feels like that kind of art. And then parallel and special parallel. So Metal Greymon. I
The
like
chibi is so
the Chibi.
fucking adorable.
We'll talk about the other ones in a bit because those are unique and they have something to go over. Metal Mamemon, great art. I love the claw. Andromon, I like the SD one because it feels like something that was in a like manual somewhere, but does it feel a little goofy? Like him trying to make a serious
Uh,
face.
it's like, dude, you're like 2.5 heads
Although
tall.
weirdly, trying to look menacing does work for Megatramon. Metal Tyrannomon. Although the Metal Tyrannomon one's weird because the arm that he does the missile thing, that is the wrong arm. And I know that's a nitpick. I'm just pointing it out. I believe they did it because they wanted him facing that direction for a reason that'll be obvious shortly. And then Mugenjamon. So first Analogmon, him kind of comic booky art with Mugenjamon. Then we get the Mugenjamon special parallel card. Parallel card, that is, not special.
God, it's so
Um,
cool
Now, do you realize why this one's cool? If you look at all the
because
cyborg,
Digimon World one.
no, so the Mugenjamon one, where he's like looking up. If you look at all the parallel cards of the cyborg Digimon, they're all in the poses. So like Metal Greymon's arm is at that exact angle on the Metal Greymon card. Metal Mamemon's
Oh,
Metal Mame Metal. You know how the one cannon's supposed to be Metal Mamemon's on Mugenjamon? If you look at
yeah.
the Metal Mamemon card, the cannon's at that exact angle.
Oh, that is very interesting. I
Or
did not even
or
pay that
if you look
attention.
at the the Andromon skull thing on his knee, it's the
Yeah,
same angle as the Andromon face in the card. They did it for all the cyborg ones. So you can actually like look, they're all at the same angles in those. So they were like drawn in
all
tandem.
of Mugen's components.
Yes. And then uh Chimeramon parallel card. I just like this one. It's just neat.
Really like the eyes, where it's just like really angry baby,
Although
like
weirdly,
Godzilla about to fire his
does
laser.
does it feel like the head is more coherent than Chimeramon's head is? Like it feels more like it's one piece. Like if you look at the Kabuterimon helmet.
Okay, yeah, or usually like in the back it flares up a little bit more usually.
Yeah, this is integrated a bit better. Then we have clean images of EX09 and various recent promo cards, so all of them. This is also another set where common and uncommon cards get parallel cards with color borders. It feels like a weird set for that because one of the things about this set was that they had the VPET borders for most cards. So it's a bit odd that like the more valuable and fancier ones are the foil details. Then the recent promo cards are prizes for the World Championship, the Welcome Tamer Pack, the serial number cards. I don't know if we know anyone who got any of those. Uh, cool boy,
Certainly don't.
cool boy prize cards and Shoutmon prize cards. What disappoints me here is with the Shoutmon ones, I'm always predisposed to going Cross 7 Superior Mode looks the best, but he doesn't out of these three cards. I think the best out of these three is Cross 4, where you just get like the anime sword swing.
Yeah.
Like I'm predisposed to think Superior Mode looks the best. And then Booster Set 22 stuff continues. For
Fucking
can we just give a clap for Devimon with the most dynamically drawn version of Deathclaw we've ever seen?
and also his face.
I know it's so good. Then we get Deathman. This feels like a follow up to the prior Marimon and Blue Marimon cards, where we get multiple of them doing attacks in a battle.
Yeah, where they look like they're back to back and you can see the two there.
And then everyone's favorite, Jimmy Ken. And a lot of people did not realize that his name is actually Jimmy Ken, and it's shortened to Jimmy Ken.
Because isn't it like his band name or
Well, no, Jimmy Ken isn't his real
persona?
name either.
No, I meant like it's his like stage name.
No, I know, but I mean is Jimmy Ken is also his stage name. Unless I'm misremembering, his actual name is, where is it? Oh, yeah, his real name is Masao Tanaka. As in, that is his real name. Then his stage performer's name is persona is named Jimmy Ken, and it's normally shortened to Jimmy Ken. If you want that to be any more confusing, yes, his persona has its own name, and then his persona has a nickname which is said roughly the same. But yeah, a lot of people thought that Jimmy Ken being written out was like a dubism or something. No, it just does not. That comes out that way a lot. Then
Which just
Musimon gets some good anime art. And Mediamon gets a side view that's a bit of a reference. And you also get some very, very neat. Um, if you zoom in, you can see screenshots of various Digimon music performances.
Oh, I see that.
The easiest one to see is Shoutmon, I believe.
It's like
Yeah,
Siren Mon. Ooh, I kind of like the Loud Mon one in the back where it looks kind of like a metal band poster.
yeah, that's a good one. And then one of the most beloved characters from Cyber Sleuth, Pete, the Wanyamon.
Baby.
That is such cute art. Then we get Repamon and Tylenmon. Some nice, fun attack shots here. I feel like
Kind of boring.
Repamon is the better image, but Tylemon's better to look at, if that makes sense. Like you can see more of him more clear, although Repamon gets like the cool action shot.
Yeah, one's more like in the frame, the other one's more dynamic.
And then, since it is a Cyber Sleuth set, two of the best known Digimon that you use if you're going to grind stuff out: Gold Numemon and Platinum Numemon. A few people seem
Jewel and
surprised.
Crimson.
A few people seem surprised they got in. I'm really not, because like if you anyone who grinded through the game, love these two. Although I think there was a better one for money than Gold Numemon. I just don't remember who it is. But yeah, people like definitely the number of people who would go by with as many Platinum Numemons as possible to grind EXP. Then we get Effectmon. Good little. I like showing the dragon from the special move. And then Rekomon, who is recording
Eh,
Musimon. I like it. It's fun. It's fun that it's a profile reference. Although I feel like a lot of Atmon people don't know their profiles enough to make it relevant.
to be fair, a bunch of them are kind of visually sort of like, okay, this is a recolor, who cares?
True. We. Although in the case of Ricomon, I don't think I don't think there's another microphone Atmon, is there?
God, I don't remember. They kind of like all blurred together.
Then Shellmon and Ryugamon.
Fucking amazing art.
I know it's so good. Then MCmon, Roramon, Tamon. So MCmon is where you get to where you are like, boo. I don't like the recolors. I think it's a fun art piece for him at least. Roamon is I didn't like what he doesn't show up a lot. It's funny seeing people wondering if it's a baby or if it's a second head. As far as I know from his profile stuff, that is a second head. It isn't like a sleeping baby on him or anything.
It's so weird. I don't even remember this one at all.
I don't think he was in the anime. Or if he did, it was really quick. And then Tapmon, which we get a focus on the Red Entertainment Town. I don't know why I just really like this art of them like lazily gardening, and a few of them are sleeping.
It has like this soft, like Studio Ghibli kind of look to it, and also they
Also,
look like candy, and I want to eat them.
also, if you look at them all, what the hell is Purple doing?
Vibing. Also hanging
Yeah,
from
I
a
was gonna
shelf.
no. You know what? Purple looks like it's hanging, like worried it's gonna fall and die, but like the others are like flying. Are you okay, Purple? What are you doing?
Purple's having one of my days.
And then Dreammon. This is one that feels like a lot of people did not know existed. Where it's like, no, it's not Bakuman.
This
Fly,
one I remember exists because I was looking for shit. I'm very sleepy. I need a Wikimon article. Which Digimon are sleepy related?
then because it is a Cyber Suit set, it is. Metal Grumon and War Greymon. I actually like these. I just don't have much to say because we've seen a lot of cards of them lately.
Yeah.
Nice, but yeah, I don't have much to say. It's neat though. I like that they're doing against the darker counterparts. And then Omegamon. This one's fun because it's a reference, but it's a reference you have to think about. It's Omegamon. First off, can we just like appreciate how good the 3v1 art is?
It looks really cool and dramatic.
It's battling Hoemon, Tiger Vespon, and Sakuyamon, which is the battle that Metal Greymon, uh, War Greymon and Metal Grumon do, that then transitions to doing the evolution scene with Nokia doing the gunbuster pose.
I do not remember.
That's the scene that everyone remembers where they evolve, and it has Omegamon standing there with arms crossed, and the Nokia is standing there with arms crossed, and then you do this battle. So yeah,
Excellent. I
so that,
really wish I can actually finish playing that game
it's a fun
or
one.
replay it.
And then let's see, Cyberspace Eden. I like it. I don't have much to say about it because it's basically just art representation of basic feature of Eden. I would guess a lot of people would think this is a screenshot, to be honest, but no, this is actually new art, and it's new art from
Yeah, it
someone
has that
who
kind of watercolor
who
look.
I believe Ito Hiro did a number of Liberator art pieces. Like I think the Imperial Dramon Black Key art is them, so it's someone who's used to doing this sort of thing. Then we get Vikemon from the launch event, two versions, and then Poyomon and Sangomon, which fit
I
in with
really like the watercolor look on Vikemon.
yeah. And for Vikemon, it is the second card in the launch event where they said they were going to do a panorama with all four.
Oh,
So we get Paladin mode, Vikemon, and I'm reasonably sure the one we see right there is Valkyriemon. You can see the red feather cape thing. Although,
okay, yeah.
although off the top of my head, I'm not sure what the other thing is, to be honest.
Um, hip armor thing. I don't. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not 100%
Actually, it
sure
might
what
just be an attack. It might just be an attack effect.
that could be. See, I keep trying to recognize armor, and then oh man, I woke up. I went to bed Thursday. I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna do the card game next plan presentation. Means big card news every time. Are you ready for what they went over, Dev? New trailer for EX09, which one of the better trailers they've done. They showed off the English versions of the secret Palo cards. They showed off Mugen Dramon secret Palo. I love they do the weird minimal coloring on him, but then the background is like the full green Digimon world colors.
Yes.
Card sleeves for 5th anniversary Atmon, Signs of Digivolution and Close. We've seen these before, but this is the best look we have at them, and they actually put them up at decent quality. Cyber Eden, they showed off, which is the Cyber Sleuth set that is coming in July. For Sinister Order, the EX booster based on anime villains, they showed off the Black War Greymon and Beelzebubon cards.
That's that I am hella looking forward to.
Yeah. Uh, Box purchase bonuses for that one are going to be sleeves themed after anime villains. So we
Yeah.
get Black War Greymon, Demon, Bogramon, and Apocalypmon. Can't you just see him complaining about pizza?
Yes.
Then Hacker's Slumber, which is boosted at 23 in October, continues on the Cyber Sleuth theme by moving to Hacker's Memory, and we get an art preview of Hudimon.
Bug.
I like the art. I don't like the font they used to write Hudimon, because doesn't that look like they just found like some weird basic ass font?
Yeah.
Then Starter Deck 22 will be an advanced deck, Amethyst Mandala, which is based on Sakuyamon, which is a nice theme. Was the last advanced deck, was it Blast Mode, I think? I think it was Beelzebub Blast Mode themed. Then for Booster Set 24, they reveal it is Time Stranger, which I don't think anyone was shocked by. They also announced that starting in October in the US, September in Japan, events will have promo packs from Time Stranger using Time Stranger key art for characters.
They're kind of okay.
It's one of those things where I like getting art we've already seen, but also I would prefer new art. Then in
I
January,
mean, the tamer cards look good, but the actual Digimon cards just
yeah, I don't disagree. I think Aegiomon looks fine.
yeah, because it looks like more drawn, but
Yeah.
the others are like very 3D
Uh,
model kind of.
then in January will be more sleeves where these will be matte. They're raising the price, and they're all Cyber Sleuth themed. Well, Cyber Sleuth and Hackers Memory. Then in February, a Liberator themed EX booster. God, it is. I'm trying to decide if this is just a new Liberator themed one or if this is like the end of Liberator themed.
Hmm.
Then we get the second reprint booster. Was the last one the one that was like 2 years ago and it had a few Ghost Game cards?
Yes.
It was I don't remember
I
the name.
forget.
Yeah, so do I. It was like
Limited something or other, or
no, I think that no, because the
no, like
limited card pack there was a limited card pack themed on Ghost Game. I'm talking about the one where it had like the
like it
Sirius
got
Mon
mixed in.
cover.
It got like mixed into
Maybe I'm
a booster
mixed up.
thing.
They went over the Debugger set and how Liberator's running. The second premium heroine set will be available to pre-order starting next month. First one was based on anime. This one's based on games. Uh, they showed championship cards based on Kazuchimon. They showed world championship cards based on the Lugamon family. They reiterated, hey, Digimon card game will be at Digimon Con or Digimon Expo. Allison will be at Anime Expo. Um, and
So
demo
please go and
Yeah, and
take
also
a
in
look.
July, Japan will also get demos for Lyson. Then Card Battle came back with a return to Digimon Card Room, which I always wondered how they were going to deal with if they did a older style Card Battle one with Yuki, and the solution is lazier than I expected. So they go back to Digimon Card Room for the episode to show off a match for EX09, and it's actually themed after Adventure 2020 with an Omegamon Ultra S team deck and an Abatomon deck. I read how they dealt with it in the English version. They cut off everything except like the 2 or 3 minute news segment of Yuki at the end.
Oh, that's funny.
Didn't sub it. They literally just cut it off, and they're just like, "Oh, it's just a news thing for the U.S." It's
Oh
disappointing.
well.
And then off from cards, so we can get sips of our drinks.
So many fucking cards. My God.
And then we knew Kenji Watanabe was doing O2 25th anniversary art for products we talked about last time. They're all up to pre-order. They all look nice. I'm not getting any of them. I just like looking at them. I'm still not convinced the colors work for Ken and Wormmon.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Yeah. So those are up to pre-order if anyone wants them. If you were going to spend the money, let's say you had the money, you were going to get one thing from here. What would you get?
I'd probably get the Imperial Dramon tote bag.
I think mine would be Imperial German shirt.
Thing is, I have so fucking many shirts.
No, so
It's
do I.
disgusting.
Right now, I'm literally wearing a shirt that is the USS Cerritos as if it were a model kit. And then a new Digimon Adventure pop-up shop has been announced for Tree Village starting June 28th. 3 locations online. The Yukata themed anime art's very nice, and we get graph art of it.
The only thing I care about.
I like the art. It's just so good. we have nothing about the products to talk about because they're interesting in the sense of it's always nice to get products, but there's really nothing super interesting or different. Although I get the weird acrylic, like the collection bottle thing. I have no idea. Like I don't have any of these, so I don't know if they are like if are they like in fluid and you shake them up and they move around or something, or is it just like it's a design and it sort of looks like a bottle? I don't know.
Yeah, with just the mock-up, it's like impossible to tell.
Yeah, I keep trying to think like, is there something special to this, or is it just like it's an acrylic stand but it looks like a bottle instead? I don't know. And then, to no one's surprise, Lydramon slash Ragemon won for favorite armor evolution from Digimental Digiega Friendship, and it had 48.9% of the vote.
Almost fully fucking half.
Yeah. No one like Thunderbird Mon sort of ranked, but also like when one of them's getting 50%, no one's ranking that well. Uh,
Yeah, but
uh,
actually it's ended up being like about what we
yeah,
expected, at least for like the
I
top three.
I think we did. We both say we wondered if a Bitmon would be lower than that though, and uh, Kenkimon. I think we both said no, Kenkimon we thought was gonna be dead last, or was that Sepicmon? I
I
forget.
thought Kenkimon was gonna be dead last.
Okay, then yeah, Kenkimon. I think we both went. No one remembers who Kenkimon is. Kenkimon only got votes because people are like, "No, I'm gonna vote for the Digimon no one knows,"
That or they have a special interest in construction equipment.
which is possible. And then for the new poll, it is favorite armor evolution from the Digimental Digiegg of purity slash sincerity, based on how you translate it. I give Shurimon domination on this one.
I
Okay,
feel like there's gonna be like a close runner-up of Yashamon.
see, I thought about Yashamon, but then I started thinking Panchomon. Because the one thing we've seen in these polls is anything that shows up in 2020 actually tends to do well.
Yeah, but Yashamon was around like for quite a few
Yeah,
series. Enough that they have like 4 official respellings of its fucking name at this point.
yeah. Okay, so we're Shurimon's top. We're split on if it's going to be Yashamon or Panchamon. Who's the bottom? And why is it
Uh,
Kabukimon?
I was about to say it's gonna be fucking Kabukimon because
Because Nohemon,
everyone loves
Nohemon shows
Frogmon.
up a few times and people seem to like Frogmon, even though Frogmon doesn't show up in anything.
People like frogs, and it's a cool design.
Yeah. See, Frogmon could be bottom though, honestly.
I feel it'd be middle of the pack.
And then looking the potpourri batch of Annabirth put up a bunch of photos of various of the summer products. Uh, Maguro put up another photo of him and Chiba on the set of Digimon Card Room. They
That was
mentioned.
the same photo as last time.
I thought it was at first also, then I realized that no, it was actually a different photo. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll post it. It's a Saturday night, doesn't matter. So I'll go ahead and post it. Then the Digimon music producer posted a photo, said the Yamato and the Teenage Wolves album's done. It looks like it's from a printing layout, from a booklet.
Oh yeah, I see the hatch
Yeah.
marks. Yeah, I can believe that.
Then Ayumi Miyazaki posted photos from the event Voice of Dimensions that he did in Nanjing, China on June 1st. He mentioned, always nice when fans sing along. He mentioned various other performers by name and how good they were all at the event. Then SLMY 1022, who did the Digimon Seekers comic, posted a little bit of Children's Day art featuring a few baby Digimon relaxing.
So fucking cute. Oh
One
my god, I want
one look
plushies of all of them.
one looks like they're gonna topple over though.
They'll live probably. It's not that far of a far.
Then for the card game art of the week, it is McQueenamon putting Gabumon in a costume, and Gabumon has concerns based on the all the swarm Digimon are Maquinamon now, but used to be other Digimon. Gabumon looks so put out.
Well, you have to think of it this way. He's a lizard and he's wearing a fur coat, and now on top of that fur coat, he has to wear an entire ass mascot costume, and also how the hell are you going to get that over his horn?
Do you like how they drew the horn bigger just to like put a pin on that?
Sparkle, sparkle.
Then the Toei Museum showed off various Digimon Adventure stuff that's on display to sell. They also mentioned a lot of their visitors from outside of Japan are very much buy Digimon stuff. Then they had a display for a few anime posters, including a very early '02 poster. I want to say this would be pre-air, I believe.
Yeah, I don't recognize it.
I believe this was a pre-air, like in kids magazines and stuff like that. I think I could be wrong. Then people started to get their cassette project stuff in, and AIM showed off hers, and as you'd guess, she got the Mimi cassette.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. I'm still tempted to order the non-themed version of that cassette player and like mock review it as a serious thing, but I just don't want to go to the effort.
Yeah, don't you suffer enough.
Then Kenji Watanabe and Yumi Miyazaki did another one of their music and art events. It's just a nice little
So
small
fun.
scale. Yeah, the photos of it are all nice. The card game art this time is Violet talking about what the humidity does to her hair, and Arisa imagining it as a drill. I just like not just like the drill, but like the little art of Violet and Arisa and how they're both looking. Like Arisa's clearly like freaked out, but Violet's like very happily telling a story.
Like one time
It's so
I
good.
was in Gurren Lagann.
And then the Liberator art this time is we get Usagi Bochi doing Yao Qinglan art. Very familiar hero pose. My brain just will not like name what it came from, and I don't know why. But like in my head, I can see it. Like character
Ooh.
throwing on the coat.
Or like ripping off the coat and throwing it dramatically into the background.
Yeah, that's true. And then a slightly more casual look from Tomo. I like the minimal, like old comic-y coloring, sort of. Then time for chat to do questions as we pull up the ones that were sent in ahead of time. Which Digimon mobile game was your favorite, and do you think you'll play Elyson? Favorite? I remember really liking Heroes, honestly. Which
Same.
that was just a basic match, but even like it didn't really harass you to like spend money. You could, and you'd get some neat stuff with it, but did not like harass you about it.
It was
Elyson,
very satisfying to play. It had, I mean, the plot was ankle deep, but it was nice, and the music was really good.
yeah.
Like, they didn't need to discontinue that. I would have paid like $5 just like have a match 5 game on my phone.
Elyson, I imagine I will play it to try it, and then I'll just be like, this isn't for me. Because here's the thing, I'm just not big with the super heavy gotcha games, anyways. The handful I've played, I always played with minimal gotcha, and then after a couple weeks, I was like, okay, I'm done here. I think.
Yeah, I think the only gotcha-ish game I've played and stuck around with for a while would be the Fire Emblem.
I remember people really liked that one for a bit.
It's really fun. It does play quite a bit like the older games in the series with
Oh,
like the
okay,
strategy
that
and
must be
everything.
why. Okay, the question from chat is: if we were given the chance to take two Digimon, give them a special level 7 form a la Omegamon, a fusion that's not a fusion, which two Digimon would you pick? See, the question there is: do you pick two and think at the idea, or do you pick two where it basically just ends up being another Omegamon, as most of these are, and just be like, no, that's right. Like, I'll admit, like, it's not a real Digimon, and I'm not sure I want it to be, in the sense of being like it has an entry, but I kind of like the dual wielding Omegamons, where we got both swords and both cannons.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think my answer is like actually having a way for those to appear. So Omegamon and Omegamon. How's that for an answer?
One Omegamon just picks up the other one by the ankles and just swings it the fuck around. Beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
Then, uh, do you have an answer, Dev, or are you just going with double Omegamon beating them each other?
Um, I want something just supremely fluffy, so Renamon and Doramon's lines just double up the fluffy foxiness. Just it turns into a giant fucking pom pom that rains death upon my enemies.
That works. Then someone asked, "What do you see in game footage or trailer that makes you go, that's a game I might like? What games have you played lately?" For something like footage, it's kind of just like does it catch you right? It's hard to like quantify that, I think.
Usually go by like the genre of the game itself because I mean, sure, something might look cool, but it's like that looks interesting and it has a neat storyline, but also that doesn't look fun for me to actually sit down and play. So just if it
Yeah.
looks like a Metroidvania, I'm gonna play it.
And then for what games have you played lately? Um, not much. I only played a few demos. So I want to say there were one was the Tony Hawk 3 and 4 demo, which I did a few times, and then I tried the demo of they were doing a side scroller Metroidvania of Space Adventure Cobra, and I want to see what that was like. And the demo was strange because like it had interesting ideas. It also had some bad execution. The big one being, it's they put you in a later episode, a later level, but without all the equipment. And
Ooh.
and the game does not explain this. So like you will see items like right below you, and it's like okay, I must have to figure out how to like do double jumps or move in a certain way to get it. It's like no, you get a grappling hook at some point in the game and then can grab this stuff. But for a demo, it does not tell you this. So yeah,
Would be frustrating.
yeah.
The only thing I've been playing recently, aside from Pokemon Go, is Pokemon TCG Pocket, which is very relaxing. I like bullying the computer.
And then next question was, what new Appmon or Digimon goodies do you guys think we'll get? I don't know. I'm not sure I would have guessed the Jupitermon Wrath Mode figure. At the moment, it feels like the only stuff you can guarantee is more cards, and since we're in an anniversary year, O2 stuff, and then then Beat Break stuff, since that's coming soon.
I
Those
want a
aren't the,
plushie of Steven Frog.
which one?
I want a plushie of the Sergeant Frog, little bastard.
It feels like that has to be a for sure, don't you think so? Then
I hope so.
then someone said with Digimon Ghost Game not getting a home video release, do you think the same will be true of Beat Break? Well, in the case of
Who
Ghost
the hell
Game,
knows?
here's the thing: the Ghost Game website, when it first was up, it actually did have a standby like header for Blu-ray and DVD. It not getting them and not being removed would suggest that the show just did not do well. And Toei definitely still puts their shows on disc, so we'll see how Beat Break does, I guess. Someone said plan to do anything during the summer, going to any cons, enjoying any of the summer beverages we've spoken of in the past.
Personally, I am going to too many games, in a week or so.
That's a good one. Nah, this summer for me is relaxing and work and heat. So we will see. Beverages, lots of iced tea, lots of iced coffee.
Pretty much the same thing I drink all year round anyway.
Yeah. Last chance in for questions from chat. Where do you think Digimon games go once Time Stranger's out? They said personally it's hard for me to think about because it went from fully announced to having a date that's not far away so quickly. Mm,
Mm, I feel like maybe like a remake or a remaster of something from earlier.
it feels like that's the right call. The problem is there's just enough like knowledge where couldn't you see them going, oh, it's a 4K version of Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition for PS5?
Yeah.
Because remember, if you have PS4, PS5, you can only get Hacker's Memory. You can't get Cyber Sleuth at the moment. So like it's right there to just port the complete edition to that. And I guess also Xbox, but yeah. I haven't seen how it runs on the Switch, the how the existing version runs on the Switch too, so I don't know about that one though.
And I do not have one to test, so.
Yeah, I think that. And then last question from Chad is: do you guys think Digimon Atmon will be added to more Digimon games now? That they're definitely integrating them as a thing is a better chance for that. It feels like if they did do it, they would probably do it like they did with crossword stuff, where they just did a few first just to like see how people react. But it'd be nice. Yeah, I guess the question is do you end up doing just Gamamon, or do you also do the app fuse partners? You just have like a bunch where it ends up being 10 or 12 or whatever for Gaiamon. Hmm,
No idea.
neither do I. That's a good question. And on Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read?
Uh, Let's go with MC Mon because he's actually kind of adorable.
Good choice. Plus, it's counter to you early commenting on the lazy recolors.
Yes.
Then I can be found at With the Wills Always. We're a day early, so in 2 weeks we should be back on Monday. Thank you everyone for showing up. We will catch you in a few weeks. Bye.
Bye.